Okay, hi, Chloe slash Danielle slash Jerusha slash Anna. So I'm going to give you a quick refresher on the data analysis stuff. So here we go. Um, so recall, these are really the two, and I know I did go through that really fast, and I apologize. I think I was really pressed for time when I was doing that with you guys. So I'll go through it a little slower now. These are two basic basic Excel sheets that I sort of created when I used to analyze a lot of data when I was a research assistant, and I still use the same basic formula. So that's why for me it's like sort of like a second language, which I never really speak to other people. It's just my own little thing that I created. I mean, I think it's a lot of researchers would use the same type of thing, but this is sort of my version of it. So okay, so this is really the end game here, this master of disaster file, which I will bring over here. And here, what you want to have at the end of the day is a spreadsheet where I'm going to add one. Okay. So okay, sorry. That's actually not necessary. Okay, so you want to have a spreadsheet where you have all these rows of data. So you have one row for each run that you did. So for example, when you had the citronella oil going and it was the big low contrast condition, this is one run right here. Now you'd have another, the second time you did it would be represented here. And the third time would represent it here. Okay. And what you want to do ultimately, what I would probably do is this. So I would take, why don't I just do that for you? I'll show you what I would do. And then once I do it for one condition, you kind of will have it for all the conditions. You can do that same thing for all the conditions. So we'll do it for the big low contrast conditions. And then once I show you what to do with that, you can do it for all the others. So you want to bust out the analysis template. And say that's here. And it's nice and, okay. So all you got to do is slap your data in here in this 48 by the 6 or 7 or 8, 48 by 8 little square here, or cube, or rectangle. And once you slap the data in here and then you sort it, then your row is going to be created right here. I'm going to delete this. You're just going to slap it in here. You're going to grab all this stuff and grab it, Control C. You go to the other one and you say right here, Alt E S V, and it goes there. You can get rid of all these labels because you already have the labels there at the top. So you just go like that. And then this would be like the next condition, the next set of data. Now the way you can really mess up here is if you forget which condition you had, because you have to enter this in manually because there's nothing in the Excel spreadsheet that says what condition it is. So you have to be on your toes and make sure you're pasting the correct data into your template and you know what they are, and then you correctly label them in the master of disaster. Now, I do not trust anything. So I don't even trust that this one we entered the other day is correct. So I'm going to assume that was wrong, and I'm actually going to delete it. So here's where we're going to start fresh. So I'm going to go to your little file here, and I'm going to go to Chloe's data first. And let's just do all the baseline data. How would that be? We'll do one condition of the baseline data. And let's start with small, and then we'll do big. We'll start with small, low contrast. So small 3. Where are you? Okay, here you are. So here's the data, and it grabs, when it opens the file, it's kind of nice because it's all the data are selected. That 8 by 48 matrix is all selected for you. So you just hit Control C, and then you go over to the, not the master of disaster, but the analysis template. You paste it in, Control V, and there all your data are. And now you just go to data, sort, and you're going to sort by B. Look at that. And now it's sorted by all the trials that were 2 frames long. The presentation was 2 frames long at first. and then the 4-frame trial, see here, 4 frames, and then the 8 frames, all the way down. The last group here is the 64-frame trials. And remember, each frame is about 8 milliseconds, so these are about 500 milliseconds long. These are about 16 milliseconds long. Now, also remember, this accuracy here for the 2-frame condition is grabbing the accuracies, is taking the average of all these zeros and ones, which comes out the same as calculating the accuracy. See, there were 3 that were correct. 3 out of 8. 3 divided by 8 is 0.375, and look at that. The average of all these zeros and ones is also 0.375, so it's correct. So here's our row of data. So I'm going to go over now from here to my master disaster. And I'm going to absolutely paste it in, Control V. And now look at that, all the refs, the errors. So that's because I hit Control V. I forgot to say Alt E, S, which is paste special, V. And then you paste the values. So now, look at that, the 0.375 is there, and the next one's 0.625. Let's just double check that. Okay, yeah, right. The next one is indeed supposed to be 0.625. So we're looking good. So these data are correct. Slapped in, let's just make sure the 64-frame reaction time is correct, just to choose another random one. And it's, oops, not if I mess it up. It's supposed to be 0.56. Yeah, 0.56. So that's correct. So now I just have to make sure I label this correctly and we'll be good. Now, I was smart and I said I did something that made sense to me at least, which is I'm starting with a small data, low contrast. So I know this is small, 3, and this is the baseline. All right, so now we're done with that one. We don't have to do anything with this. We can just leave it all here. And now we go back to Chloe's folder, and we're going to go to the next. G small 3. Okay, so it's again G small 3. Good. We grab the data. We go to the template. We paste it in. We absolutely have to sort it. It's not going to make any sense. If you ever see data where the accuracy doesn't go from like chance to close to perfection on these 6, across these 6 conditions, it's probably because you didn't sort it. So be careful of that. I haven't done that many times, but I think every single time I've caught it. You always have to look at your data. See, do they make sense? All right, so I just grabbed my row. Now I go to master disaster. I paste it in, but whoops, I forgot to do Alt E S V, not whatever that was, V, values, and then bada bing, it's in. So this is again my small 3 baseline. And look at that accuracy. So pretty. Look at that. Goes from low accuracy to high accuracy. All right, love it. Let's do it again. Let's close this. And we'll go here. And we'll go here. Done that. Now we'll do this. Control C over to my template. Sort by B. Bada bing. Control C. Grab the row over to the disaster of the master. And I'll remember this time to do Alt E S V paste special. If you have a Mac, I realize there's probably different shortcut buttons than Alt, because there's no Alt button on the Mac, I think. Just Google how to do paste special in Excel on a Mac. And all Alt E S V is doing is it's doing edit paste special values, and just Google how to paste values under paste special in Excel on a Mac if you're using a Mac, and you'll be able to do it easily. Small 3, this is again baseline, good. And notice how again it goes from low accuracy to high accuracy. Oh wow, that's not good. Just so you know, look for this. See, 6 seconds is the average reaction time for this condition. Guarantee Chloe probably sat there for like a minute or something after the first trial. It's probably like a wicked long reaction time of like 60 seconds or something for the first trial. Let's look. Okay, no, it was actually the 4th trial. 30 seconds she sat there. and 6 seconds for the first one. So that's not a valid thing. We'll deal with the reaction time later. For now, just paste it in and don't worry about it. Okay. So we've done that. We're doing good. We got 3. I think there's going to be one more baseline condition, right? Yeah. G extra small 3. Control C. Where's my template? Sort. Good. Oh. Chloe had very low accuracy, below chance, 0.25. I think it's just a coincidence. Go to the master. Alt-ESV, boom, shakalaka. All right. And this is, again, the same condition, small tree. All right. I just did a pasting of this, which is a little risky, because what if I got it wrong? It wasn't really that condition, but I was pretty confident that I was right. I'm just going to go back into this original file here and double check. G extra small 3, so it was indeed. Okay, you never want to mislabel your data. That's how you can really think something is true and it's actually false. Be real careful with that. Okay, so look at this. This is beautiful. So here's now what you want to do. So I didn't really tell you guys about this, but here's what I'd like you to do. Once you get all the 4 runs together, you take the average of, so here I just said, let me do that again in slow motion, equals average, open parentheses, and then select, you put it on the first cell, you hold down the shift button, you hit up, 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 and now you're grabbing them all, you close the parentheses, and boom shakalaka. Now there's more than one ways to skin that cat. I could have also just said equals average, open parentheses, and then I look at the screen and I say, okay, that's cell E2, okay, colon, which means through E5. Just type it in is another way to do it. Okay, so once you have that, then you just copy and paste, and now you have the average for all 6 conditions, because see, now this keeps it relative to wherever I am. In fact, if I did this, Control C, and I pasted it over here, it would be trying to take the average of these guys that are just the 4 above it, skipping 1 cell, just like is over here. You see, it's just relative to the position of where it is. And, you know, for the heck of it, I guess we can also take the reaction time, even though we know for a fact some of these reaction times aren't valid, i.e. that. All right, but we're looking good. And now here's what the other thing you want to do is say equals standard deviation. Because you're really, well, I don't know. I really do not like to make graphs that do not have standard deviation shown on them. So yeah, do this too. So equals standard deviation of those guys. Control C, paste it over. And then usually people don't do the standard deviation. They actually do something else that's very similar to the standard deviation, but it's called the standard error. So this is the standard deviation for those guys. You calculated it. And what this is doing is it's showing you, okay, well, here's the value I got for the average of these 4, but how much variation is there from trial to trial, from block to block here? And there's actually quite a bit, 0.21. There's less variation as you go up, where you're pretty much getting it right all the time down here. 0.07 is the standard deviation there. But instead of the standard deviation, you usually do the standard deviation, which is that value there, divided by the square root of the number of observations that you have. So we're going to count the number of observations, which is 4. We take the square root of 4, which I guess happens to be 2. And we just divide the standard deviation divided by 2, which is... Now in other conditions, you might only have 3 runs, so you'd be dividing it by 3. So I'd recommend just keeping this formula here and selecting how many you have for observations. But this is the thing you're going to use to make error bars later on down the line. I'll help you do that. Just calculate it for now. And so this is like you're going to be your money shot for average, standard dev, standard error. So what I would probably do if I were you guys is just do that, and then I would do that again for the next condition. Okay? Like for small small 3 high contrast, or whatever the next one you want to analyze is. These are all referring to that. Okay, so you're just going to replicate this. Just do exactly what I did for all the other conditions. So that would be, let's see, 3 other conditions for baseline. And so that's 4 total conditions, but then you're going to do those 4 total conditions for each of the other citronella, etc. type of stuff. So I hope this helps. I hope this makes it clear, and you're going to do that for Chloe and Jerusha. So there's a lot of this a lot of this data organization or data analysis to do, but it's kind of, once you get into it, it's kind of a mindless thing. It's kind of rote. You just kind of bang it out. It's sort of like doing a Sudoku puzzle or something. It's just kind of like you get into it, you kind of get in the zone, and you just kind of bang it out. So let me know if anything's unclear. I'd be happy to chat some more.